live on YouTube. And then we will start recording. Now.
It's the Dave Cat Podcast. The Dave Cat Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of the Dave Cat Podcast on a Saturday night. I am your host, David Reed, joined tonight by Seth Reed, and I hope Monty Clement is going to be in here at some point. He said he might.
He's ducking, bro. He's ducking because he knows we're going to talk about the Cowboys.
He knows we are talking about the Cowboys today. That is very true. That is something that we need to point out because it does seem like Monty could be ducking. That's not something that we would like to see, but you know, he understands what really is going on in the football world, so he knows how we feel, that we know reality, we know what's really going on. So I think the next time he's on, don't worry. We will be talking about the Cowboys again. We just got to, just at least a little bit. That way he can get his fill in. You know, maybe he has a little bit of a chance to defend himself a little bit, you know. So
I know you're about to get married and you're busy. But guess what, bro? I'm about to get married like a week after you. I'm still showing up, man. Come on, bro.
Right.
Killing me, Monty.
Right, exactly. So there's a lot actually to talk about. Last time we had Russell Wilson updates. There's yet again another Russell Wilson update.
Daily.
Yeah, it seems like something's always going on there. So it gives us more to talk about, honestly. And when you're looking around the league, I want to start with this. The NFL cap is supposed to be a hard cap. It's supposed to be one of the strictest in all sports. It's supposed to be something that you're not supposed to manipulate. But what we're seeing across the league today, and as the few days have gone by, since the NFL cap has been set, $182.5 million, that's down $15.7 million roughly from last year. It was supposed to go up about $10 million, and it dropped $15 million. That's a $25 million difference from what the NFL teams thought it was going to be. So some of the deals had to be reworked. Some people are getting cut. Sorry, it's not some. A lot of people are being cut. And what we're seeing is something that we've never seen before. So many voidable years added onto contracts. So many different kinds of contracts being signed and different languages being added in. And just the way the signing bonuses are now being given out to avoid these cap hits, but pushing them on to later on. Like I believe I saw, who's that, Mack for the Bears? Khalil Mack. Now, He reworked his deal, but now going next year, he's going to be making QB8 money with his cap. His cap hit is going to be QB8 type of money because they're pushing off more cap into next year when hopefully the cap soars up $15 million, $20 million. Then they can be able to absorb more of that Khalil Mack hit and maybe even rework it again and give him this massive signing bonus and eat some of that cap. So what you're seeing today is not normally what goes on. It's normally something different. And typically when teams sign a contract, everyone knows you typically don't live by it. It's about 15, 20%, or I think it's below 20% where the full contracts are being lived out. It's not even full. I'm talking about second contracts, not initial contracts. I'm talking about the second ones that they sign, the big ones, the ones for the big money. It's less than 20% where the full contract is being lived up to. Either the player's retiring, or they're getting cut, or they're getting traded and then cut, or it's getting reworked in some different way. So it's very rare that these deals are getting done, and now it's even furthermore proving that this cap situation really just threw a wrench into everyone's machines that they were going to have this offseason to pump out all these numbers and who they were going to draft and who they were going to sign for how much this money, but now they can't anymore because there was a loss of cap. Now, Seth, when you look at the situation, this is gonna be an offseason you can never forget, right?
Oh, for sure. And I think we've been talking about this for a while. We've seen this coming with COVID. I mean, it's changed everything, and this is another ripple effect. It's gonna be interesting, man, to see like going forward what guys end up signing for, how long the deals are. A lot of these guys are probably gonna take shorter deals. So when this new TV money kicks in a couple of years, I believe it is, then they can sign those big deals. Right now, it's going to be all about a signing bonus, and like I said, taking a short deal until this new TV money kicks in. Like Trevor Lawrence and him, when he's off his rookie contract, if this dude performs, he's probably going to break the quarterback record for the highest paid quarterback. I mean, I'm just throwing a name out there because he's a young guy who will be on a rookie contract. And about the time that rookie contract's up, this new TV money's coming to all these owners, and that salary cap is going to skyrocket in a few years. So this is a temporary thing, and it'll be interesting to see how it looks this year.
Yeah, I honestly agree. But I mean, when I'm looking at this, I feel like teams are going to be making big mistakes going forward. They're going to dig themselves into a further uh, situation where they're going to have to rework and really have to manipulate cap even more going forward. That's going to have to be full-time jobs for each team. They already have cap management people. They're going to have to double those teams with coming up years
There's
because
going to be a lot of interns this year.
it's really crazy when the way you look at it. Like every single team is reworking some sort of deal. Every team, and I'm not talking about just a couple of teams or a handful of teams. Every single team has reworked a contract this offseason to ensure they have enough cap space going forward into this year. Now the cap has been set at 182.5. That's down so much. These teams are just like, they weren't ready to take this hit. Yes, I had a massive notice, but it's hard to put pen to paper and get this stuff going when there was not a certain number. Now that they have that certain number, you are seeing so much movement in the NFL. This is something that we're never going to forget. It's like every year we always say, and I say this every single episode the last month and a half, every year we always think this is going to be the best offseason I've ever seen. This is going to be something that I've never seen before. No, this is truly something you've never seen before. I've never seen before. We're never going to see again. This is something that's crazy beyond belief that all these players, premium players, bad players as well, being cut or being reworked to stay on their teams. Because there's a lot of players that should be cut, but they reworked their deal, either took a pay cut like a Preston Williams,
Ben Roethlisberger.
Mahomes had to rework his deal to get a bigger signing bonus up front. Drew Brees already reworked his deal down to $1 million. He hasn't announced his retirement yet. Something tells me he might just play for $1 million this year. I mean, something just tells me he's going to get that itch. And then they might even rework his deal again. They might, let's just add on another $10 million or something. So Tom Brady reworked his, adding extra voidable years to where he's making $39 million this year, but his cap is like half of that. And then the next year he's only making 10 or 12 or 8 million, and his cap's like 40 million. It's like ridiculous how teams are able to manipulate the cap like that. This is supposed to be such a hard cap, but the teams are just getting away with changing ways and manipulating it. Either get rid of the cap or do it like the NBA where it's like a soft cap, because this hard cap is a joke. Like you're punishing teams for bad contracts, which you should, but in the long run, it's happening all around the league. So now what their teams are doing is they're just kind of putting a middle finger to the league saying, we're just going to change the numbers around and make it work anyways. It doesn't matter how bad we are at signing these bad contracts, the Cowboys. No, but I'm just what I'm really saying is, like, there's actually a lot of bad contracts. Dak Prescott might be good, but you got to think about it this way. That Dak Prescott deal, which we're going to talk about in just a moment.
Hold on a second. Quick. I want to say one thing. I would never want the NFL not to have a salary cap, because I think that would be the worst sport you could do that to, just because those big market teams could just, yeah. I agree with you. It shouldn't be how it is, but it should be a soft cap. It should do like the NBA, but they shouldn't go with no cap, because you've seen in baseball, the Yankees buy who they want, the Dodgers buy who they want. We're not going to talk about baseball. What I'm just saying, it would be a bad thing in the NFL, because, man, those big market teams could just buy everybody if they wanted to, and it wouldn't even be a competition. The NFL is the biggest team sport there is, as far as, you can have – the other team might have the 3 best overall players on their team, but you might have the best 22 on yours. And if you took the cap away, I think, man, that'd just be horrible.
Could you imagine if there was no NFL draft, if any college player can sign wherever they want, and there was no cap?
Dude. No.
Like Jamar Chase, Devonta Smith.
Right.
Just going, and Jalen Waddle just going to, the Buccaneers.
Meyer with Trevor Lawrence. And
No, they'd go to the Buccaneers and play with Brady.
oh yeah, for sure.
Sign a 1-year deal, all of them. But yeah, let's just go get a ring real quick, get that out of the way, and then go make a bunch of money. Why wouldn't you? I mean, if they were doing that, yeah, that would be crazy if you could do that. But yeah, as we're talking about the leagues, and let's get to this Russell Wilson update real quick. So it looks like Russell Wilson, it's all over Twitter, that he could be reworking his contract with Seattle to guarantee no trade this year because he would be helping them out essentially. And he would be getting a lot of upfront money. So he's essentially going to be a Seahawk, which I thought if he was going to be moved, I think he's going to be moved, or Pete Carroll's going to retire next year. I think next year Pete Carroll's going to be gone, or Russell Wilson's really going to be gone. It's going to be one or the other. I don't see this lasting past this year. I think they're going to try it one more year to see if they can get it to work, but I really think this is the last year that they work together.
And if you're asking me, sorry, Pete, there's the door.
Yeah, no, I always said that all along. He just needs to
old.
go.
I've never been a fan of Pete Carroll much myself ever since the play call. We're not going to talk about it. I've never really been a fan of him since that day. And I wouldn't – it'd be fine if he went. I'd much rather have – if I'm an owner, I'd much rather go with Russell Wilson than Pete Carroll, for sure.
Sure. I don't blame you. I mean, look, he's obviously a brilliant guy, a coach.
Oh, right.
The guy knows what he's talking about. But he has made he's an alpha male, and he is into his own ego more than being a team player. I think he wants to control who gets what glory, and he wants to be in control of everything because he thinks he's smarter than everyone else in the room.
Who's that, Pete Carroll?
Yeah.
Yes, totally. He's cocky, very arrogant.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
That's
why
exactly.
That's why he called that play call.
Yeah, exactly.
In the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Yep.
Everybody knows we're gonna run, but we're gonna throw it. I got Russell Wilson. I'm Pete Carroll. We're gonna throw it. I'm gonna show these guys. Yeah, okay. You sure showed them, Pete. Good job, buddy. Anyways.
Yeah, no, exactly. So
that's really one of the reasons I believe he called that play call was because of his ego. I really think they had just won. Oh, we're gonna win back to back. We're taking down Brady. We're taking down Belichick. Patriots are done. This is my league now. All that shit, dude. He thought he was because that's how he was at USC, bro. I hated him at USC. Oh, when he had Reggie Bush and shit. Oh my gosh.
Right. Yeah. So we'll stay tuned because you never know what's going to happen. Tampering period starts Monday. We'll have a little. Let's talk about that just real quick.
I better silence my work because you're gonna be blowing my shit up in the chat, the football
dude.
chat.
It's gonna be crazy, dude. It's gonna be all over the place. I know I have to work Monday, but I'm gonna try my hardest to stay on top of that because it's gonna be crazy how much news is going to be spilled out because there's still players continuing to be cut if they cannot rework their deal or find a trade partner for them. There's still players in trade discussions as we speak. There could be lots of movement tonight or tomorrow. This is Saturday. What is it, the 13th of March?
Yes, sir.
There could be a lot of movement going forward before Monday. And when Monday hits around 2 or 3 p.m., I think it's 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. Eastern, then you're going to see slew of news going across Twitter and across the whole news stratosphere that this such and such agreed to this amount to this team for this many years, and it's just going to be crazy. And that one person you need to look at is Joe Tooney. He's going to make so much money. He might not be signing day one on Monday, but
really?
He's going to get so many offers. So many offers. His agent is going to be like,
probably going to take him a day to go through the offers.
He's going to that at least he's going to have a bid started. He's going to go look. Hey,
it'll be something by Wednesday.
Unfortunately, congrats on being the first team to call us. Here's our asking price. What are you saying? Okay, cool. Just letting you know, we're going to take calls and we're going to tell them how much you're offering. And we're going to see how much we can go back and forth because Joe Tooney is going to make north of $18 million a year for being a guard. So watch, it's going to happen. My prediction as of now is Joe Tooney ends up with the Jets. I think Joe Tooney ends up with the Jets. So hold on, real quick. Let me go.
I can put a prediction for you.
Let's go through a couple of them real quick.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Are you legit? Do you legit feel that way? I know that.
Yeah. No, I really feel that way. Yeah, because I think the Jets are going to offer him the most money.
Really, we're a Jets fan. Would you feel this strong about it?
Yeah, I really do. I think he's going to
Okay.
be. Yeah,
I'll take you on your word, bro. I'm
yeah.
not
I
saying you're
really
lying.
feel like he's going to be a Jet. So
I'll take you on your word. But I just
let's go through this list. Trent Williams, I think he's back with the 49ers. What about you?
yeah,
Rumored teams: 49ers, Colts, Chargers, Bengals. Which team do you want to see him on the most? I'd want to see him on the Colts.
the needs them the most is the fucking Bengals. But
Colts need him
I
because
would,
Anthony Costanzo retired.
what's that?
And Anthony Costanzo retired.
Yeah, but the Bengals still need them more.
I would like to see Trent Williams on the Colts better, but I think he goes back to the 49ers.
That's what I think.
Shaq Barrett, Buccaneers, Jets, Bengals, Titans, Jags, Dolphins. All looking to sign Shaq Barrett, and there's multiple teams, but those are a bunch of teams involved. Which one of those teams do you see him playing for next year? I see him. I think he's going. I think he returns the Buccaneers to Tampa Bay.
Really?
Yep, I think they find a
thought
way
they
to
were-
make it work. With all this contract rework bullshit going on, I think
They
they.
were gonna get rid of Godwin, dude.
Yeah,
really
no, they're signing everybody. They're going to keep everybody. I watch. This is what's going to happen. Guarantee you. Now, here's a real question. Kenny Galladay, Giants, Jets, Patriots, Washington, and Dolphins. Of those teams, who would you like, or of any other team that I didn't mention, where would you want to see Kenny Galladay playing?
somewhere.
Where do you think he will play? Where do you think he will play?
I could see New England going after him hard. They need receivers, but I mean, I can see him being like, "Well, who the fuck's gonna be throwing me the ball?" But I mean, I could see New England going for him hard because, like I said, they really need some help on the outside, and he's gonna be good really anywhere he goes. I mean, I just hope he has a better talented quarterback with him.
You ready for this prediction from me?
What's that?
I think
Jets?
the Cardinals might try to go after him and try to get that powered offense going because they have to compete in that NFC West. Keep an eye out for Arizona. I don't think they'll get him, but don't be surprised if they make him an offer. If you're like, watch out for Arizona, they're calling them, don't be surprised because they're going to try to make a splash to get more firepower on that offense because that division's just disgusting. So
I think they defense, man.
So where do you think he will play? What team do you think he'll sign with?
Galladay,
Yeah.
man, I'll just shout in the dog. I'll say Patriots.
Patriots. Okay. Fuck no. Joe Tooney, 28 years old, very young. Jags, Jets, Chiefs, Bengals. I think he's going to the Jets. Any team that you think he'll go to?
You know what? I'm gonna call it dark horse. I'm gonna call Jaguars for that one. Say he's gonna go Trevor Lawrence. That's a little, I guess you'd say upset pick. I would say the Jaguars.
Juju Smith-Schuster, Jets, Jags, Washington, Cardinals, Lions. Any of those teams plus any other team you think he will go to?
Cardinals, I could see. Colts, maybe.
That's where I think Kenny Galladay is going to go.
No, I think Juju could go to Arizona. I could see him opposite of DeAndre Hopkins. I think Galladay. I don't know, man. Who's gonna get more money? Galladay's gonna get more money.
I think Juju Smith's going to be a Jaguar next year.
No, I said he's gonna be Arizona.
I think he's going to be a Jaguar.
Really?
Yeah. They're going to spend a lot of money. He's going to get a lot of money. He's going to get overpaid a lot. Aaron Jones, Jets, Dolphins, 49ers, Cardinals, and for some reason the Jets were put on here twice.
I wouldn't say San
Any
Francisco.
other team. One team for me, I think the Seattle Seahawks should dump Carson, which they already have, and sign Aaron Jones.
They can't afford him, dude.
You can manipulate cap. Every team's doing it. Have you not seen it? It's a new fad.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that would be great for Russell Wilson. I would love Jones.
Yeah, I think don't be surprised if Seattle's in that mix.
Man, Pete Carroll would love that, wouldn't he?
I think he is. I think he is a Dolphin, but I think the Seahawks are going to be a top 2 or 3 team.
I'd say them I say Miami or Arizona.
All right, let's go one more. Hunter Henry. Colts, Panthers, Patriots, Titans.
Colts.
Yeah, I can see him being in a lot of places. I don't think he was going to sign if he's getting offers of the same amount of money from the Colts or the Titans. It's going to be hard not to choose indoor weather, with Frank Reich. So I think he's going to be a Colt as well. That makes a lot of sense. So let's go ahead and get divisional. I do own the rights to the music. Just want to let everybody
Yeah.
know.
Don't send your dogs after us, people.
I don't want to see any more. I got copyrighted already for the intro song, and I own
Wow.
that shit too. So
Nah.
yeah, no, they
Hey.
so seriously, they sent me an email like YouTube did. They're like, "Hey, this is copyright. You're doing Final Countdown." I'm like, "No, actually, I'm not. I did everything legal. I
It's
bought it
Dave Cat.
from someone
It's
sold that to me. I bought it. I own the rights to it. I own that music, the intro song. Like
You hear that, YouTube?
I literally have
Owns it.
I literally have a
Now
certificate
what?
for it. Like I own it. So, anyways, let's get into the Dallas Cowboys. I thought Monty would be on here. That's why I put them first. But let's talk about Dak's contract. All right. I just want to talk
Dak
about the
wins, baby.
4
Dak
years.
wins.
All that matters to me is the guaranteed 126 million, but 23 of that is injury guaranteed. So really, it's 103 million, which is still 43 million more than Patrick Mahomes' contract, which is ridiculous. 4 years, he got what he wanted. The two extra things that made my jaw drop is the no trade clause, and he got no tag. You cannot tag Dak. No franchise tag available.
That's the biggest thing.
You're going to see that going forward now on every contract.
He won so much, Dave, because they paid him so much money, which he
You're
got paid. Then I think he would have got paid if he signed last year. But no. The biggest thing, dude, the biggest thing is this right here. When his contract's up, the man's only going to be 31, and he's going to fucking hit the
and the
lottery.
cap is going to be
Right.
significantly
That's
higher. Significantly higher.
Yep, that's when that TV money comes. We were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
If he performs, dude. If he has Dallas in contention the next 3-4 years, whatever the count is, it 3 years, 4 years,
4-year deal.
4 years. The next 4 years, if Dallas is in contention, he's gonna pay it. He's only gonna be 31. That man, he won this. He's been taking it from Dallas for the last 3 years. He's been playing. They should have paid this man a long time ago. And guess what? Now he won, and I mean, I'm happy for him, dude. Congratulations, Dak. You played it perfect, dude. You did exactly.
So it's actually a 6-year deal, and the last 2 years are voided. So that's back to that voidable bull crap. But he gets $13 million in the 5th year that's voided. So he's going to get paid, apparently, when he gets cut, $13 million. So basically the way it looks like is his cap goes 22 million, 33 million, 44 million, and 47 million as of now. And then 13 million for not even being on the books. So I don't know how that works. But these voidable deals, that's what I'm talking about. Like it's crazy how that is. He has a $5 million roster bonus in 2024 when he turns 31 in the final year of the contract. So by March, what is it, about March? It's going to be third week of March. 2024, if he's still on the Dallas roster, he'll get $5 million up front, plus his prorated bonus of $13 million and a $29 million salary that season, for a grand total of $47 million cap. That is ginormous. That is ginormous amount of cap. But if the cap goes up a lot by then it might not seem as bad. So,
well, I tell you now, he got his money. Now you got to go do what you got to do, Dak. You got to take that star.
Let's get more than one playoff win, Dak.
No. He needs to take him to the Super Bowl, man.
Well, of course he does.
That's what he's got paid to do. I didn't say
the second highest contract in the NFL.
Once in these next 4 years, you got to get Dallas
quarterbacks.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
You have now. Your team still needs a lot of help on the line. Your line needs to come back healthy. Maybe move a couple pieces, figure something out. You need a lot of help on the other side of the ball. Zeke needs to come back to being Zeke. You have great, talented outside receivers. We've seen a lot from CeeDee Lamb this year. Looks very promising. Dak. I mean, they're good there. They need some help in the line. They need some help in the defense. That team's ready to go. They're going to score a lot of points next year. But are they going to be able to stop anybody from scoring?
That's what I have them taking Patrick Surtain in the first round next year, which I'm going to pull that up, actually, because this is going to be useful for this conversation. I have them taking a corner, and I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to attack the defense in the draft and free agency. There's so many corners. Casey Hayward getting cut. Are you kidding me? There's so many teams that are going to go after these corners, and I think the Cowboys are going to be one of those teams. And I think they're going to be very active when it comes to that. Manipulate the cap again, and then they're going to sign a couple of these corners that are getting cut. Casey Hayward, maybe Richard Sherman, maybe over here the guy from San Francisco 49ers, like a Williams, Kashawn Williams, I believe. I mean,
that's you imagine if there was no cap? Could you imagine some of the contracts Jerry Jones would offer these guys? Like could you just imagine for 1 second? Just imagine what Jerry Jones could offer anybody that none of these owners would even be able to touch. None of them.
Right.
I mean, it's insane what he could offer these people. Oh, he offered you what, $5 million? Oh, okay, I'll give you 10. Just come play for me instead. He could do that if there was no cap. He's got the money to do that, bro. And Jerry Jones would try to buy a Super Bowl.
Now, one thing when I'm looking at Dak Prescott's stats from last year, he played in 5 games, 151 completions out of 222 attempts, 68%, 1,800 yards. It's all fine and dandy. 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He had 4 interceptions in 5 games. He didn't even play 5 full games.
He had a lot of rushing touchdowns too, Dave, in those 4 games, didn't he? At least one a game, or maybe he had 3 in those 4 games.
3.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But he had 4 interceptions.
Yeah, we can't overlook that.
If you're going out throughout the whole season, he played 4 full games, and he played partial game, but he threw 4 picks. So you're only to say that he would have thrown a pick in that 5th game.
Yeah,
That's
but
16 interceptions for the
well,
year.
I hate to do this and come to his defense, but if you do that, you want to multiply those numbers. He's going to have still way more touchdowns than interceptions. So we really can't say that.
No, because he'll only have a 5-3 ratio.
Okay, that's still not bad. But what I'm saying is he was throwing because they were down so like every game, dude, immediately, and they had to throw, and teams knew it. I mean, I really don't want to feed too much into those 4 interception stats in 4 games just because of how bad they played as a team. That's all I'm saying.
You think it's gonna be better?
It's got to be, dude. But I mean, look. If Dak plays like they win that division, bro. Come on. I mean, do you not think so?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
Now, what do you do with Zeke?
That's not going to win a Super Bowl. Maybe win a playoff game if you're lucky. I doubt it, but you're right. They still have to get better. But if Dak plays like they're in the playoffs, they win that division, no problem, dude. They can win that division next year with that team. If things stay the same, stay the same as they were. I know they're not, but if that division played all year last year, they're going to win that with just Dak in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But what do you do with Zeke, though? Do you try to keep him one more year and see if he can actually progress instead of regress, or you try to get rid of him now and see what you can get for him?
Depends on what you can get for him, man. If you can get someone to give you something decent, get him. If not, I mean, Pollard did just as good last year. I mean, but Zeke, he had a down year. He was one of the best running backs in the league until last year. He could be a beast again next year. Who knows? I mean, I don't know what I'd do with him. Maybe if you can get some good value for him, like a 2nd-round pick, and I mean, I don't even know. You think he's worth the 1st?
No.
Yeah, maybe if you could get a 2nd-round pick, maybe trade him then.
Mm-hmm. I would.
And roll with Pollard.
Yep, I would trade him for a 2nd-round pick. But I don't think
like
anyone would give you a 2nd-round pick. I think, to be honest, he would go for a 4th because of that contract.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, so he'd go for a 4th, and then I don't think they would do it. I think they're going to go with him one more year. But you're right. If they got offered a 2nd, I think they would do it. This year, though, not next year. It'd have to be this year's draft. Like, they'd have to get a phone call.
Right now, yeah.
Maybe after the 1st round and be like, hey, we'll give you a 2nd-round pick because we couldn't get Najee Harris and we couldn't get Travis Etienne, you know? So
I still think there's going to be some trades made on draft day.
Of course they are. When I do my mock 3.0, I will do there will be plenty of trades. There'll probably be 3 to 5 trades.
I like when they do that, dude. I like to keep things interesting.
I think there's going to be at least 1 trade between now and draft night. And I think there's probably going to be around 2 to 3 trades between now and draft night.
I think there's going to be a huge trade on draft night. I think.
On draft night.
Like a top 3 draft, like a top team drafting a top 3.
The Jets?
Someone else trading in. I really do. I don't know who. It's definitely not going to be Jacksonville.
You think it would be the Jets?
Could be, man. It's not going to be Jacksonville. It's going to be in the top 3, so that's definitely one of the possibilities.
If you're Jacksonville, there's nothing that you would take?
No. I don't think. I mean, Deshaun Watson.
I'd need more than Deshaun Watson.
I
would need Deshaun Watson in your first available 1st-round pick. Like, minimum. Like, I would need Watson, a 2nd this year, a 1st, and a 3rd next year. And I'll give you the 1st overall pick. You
Yeah,
got to think because he could be as good as Watson, if not better. Like he has a very high probability of being better than Watson, and you got 4 years of cheap contract.
I could see the Jets bluffing and even trading one
I
spot.
no, we're gonna try. We're gonna talk about here. So let's go ahead. Let's move on to the next team. We got the Washington football team. They finished 7-9, won the division, gave the Buccaneers a run for their money with Heineke. Alex Smith played, I believe, a little bit. So looking at Washington, they're going to be looking for a quarterback. I had mocked them at 19, taking a safety because they don't. All the quarterbacks are taken by then. I had Trey Lance even going at 12 to the 49ers. And then I have Justin Fields going 8 to the Panthers. And then I have Zach Wilson at 2 to the Jets and Trevor
You really
Lawrence
think
1.
still?
Well, we're going to talk about that when we get to that. So Washington, when I'm thinking about Chase Young's a stud, I don't blame them for taking him.
No.
So you can't be mad at
I
that.
blame talking shit about Brady though before the game. I'm talking shit about
Yeah,
Tom
he's
Brady.
an idiot, but
Fucking
he's
calm
young and
down.
stupid. So, but if they can fix that quarterback play, they already got the defense. They got a decent running game
Right.
with Gibson and
Scary
McKissick.
Terry, hold on. Let's talk real quick about that. You're right. They got the defense, and Scary Terry is a stud, bro.
Yeah,
Like
you
he
need
is.
one more receiver,
Yes.
maybe Juju, and then you can get or Galladay. If you get Juju or Galladay, and then you can somehow get traded up and with the Jets or something and get that. There's no way the Jets would get trade up or trade with Washington for the number 2 pick unless you're offering 5 first-round picks. But
Right.
there's no way that's happening. But if they can move up and get a Trey Lance or move up and get, a developmental quarterback or even trade for a veteran that might be available, maybe even a Garoppolo. If you could bring a Garoppolo over there, I think he'd be competent enough to where they would do some damage. Or if they can get Derek Carr somehow, it's not going to happen. But even Marcus Mariota for a little bit, I think that would help for a little bit. Fitzpatrick might help, but that's going to get too windy. There's a lot of options for Washington on the table. I think really what they should do is either if they like a quarterback not named Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields and company maybe, then I would try to push and trade up. There's a lot of teams you can trade up with. You're at 19, but you have ammo. You have lots of ammo. You have lots of picks. You can easily trade up to where I'm looking at. I'm looking at the Panthers where they want a quarterback, so you're going to have to move ahead of them. You're going to have to look at Detroit Lions at 7, where they have a quarterback for now, which they could be looking to drafting one. So really, if you're looking at someone moving down, it could be the Falcons at 4. If you can offer them enough, 3 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks and move up all the way to 4, then you can get your quarterback. I think they got to do something like that because they're really one of those teams that are quarterback away from being a very dangerous team. Very good. They got the defense already. Now you need another weapon, but you can fill that in free agency.
Right. They got a nice young defense. Gibson's a nice running back, good looking running back, and I forget who the backup was for them. Morris. What's the guy that catches
Peyton Barmer, McKissick.
McKissick, the guy he catches a shit ton of footballs, man. He's a great. He might have led the league.
He had 80 catches.
Yeah, he might have led the league, bro. He's a stud for as far as receiving running back. They are set up to win nicely. Ron Rivera is a decent coach who's shown he can get to the Super Bowl before. You're right. They need a quarterback, and they need one more guy on the outside.
Heineke's not going to do it all season.
Right? No. That's no. You got to get a quarterback. Like you said, the guys you mentioned, Mariota, one of the guys like that, a guy that's not going to come in and necessarily have to take the game over, but it's not going to give the game away too many times either.
You have to at least do something like Mariota.
Right. He's going to keep you in.
Yeah.
Going to get you a couple downs when you need those first downs to keep the drive going. You know what I'm saying? That's what they need.
I'd rather go Fitzpatrick, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to throw much in the wintertime, but at least that first half of the season, you could start off 6-2. Or 6 or 7-2 since there's going to be 17 games next year. But
that's like coaches, man. I kind of feel bad for him. Like Matt Nagy, like he wasn't the coach. Like, hey, guess what? I didn't draft Mitchell Trubisky. That wasn't my choice. And Ron Rivera, he didn't draft Dwayne Haskins. Like, they got to go. And when you're an NFL head coach or you're a coach in JFL, the most important position on your team is who your quarterback is.
Right.
And if you don't believe in him and you're a head coach, you don't even got the guy a chance. It's over. Like Dwayne Haskins didn't have a chance. Ron Rivera walked in the door.
Right.
Matt Nagy's never been a fan of Mitchell Trubisky. I don't care what any Bears fan says. He didn't draft Mitchell Trubisky. That wasn't his freaking quarterback. I guarantee you he would have taken Deshaun Watson or Mahomes. I promise you that.
Right. Yeah, no, they just need that quarterback. So looking at the draft or free agency or trade, there's many options for them to attain a quarterback, and I think they're going to find a way, and they're going to end up with a better name, but how much better is remaining to be seen. Moving on to the Philadelphia Eagles. They finished last in NFC East. Carson Wentz traded to the Indianapolis Colts. Jalen Hurts for now, given the keys. We'll see what they do in the draft. Rumors are they're looking at all the quarterbacks. They're going to take a quarterback in the draft at number 6. They would be able to take, in my opinion, either Justin Fields or Trey Lance. So, my opinion, I wouldn't, because I don't think any of them would be much better than Jalen Hurts immediately to where it would help you enough. Why not put that towards Devonta Smith and see what Jalen Hurts can do with that? And if he's not good next year, then do what Washington's going to do, either in the draft or trade or free agency, get another quarterback. Because if you have Devonta Smith and then you start building these weapons and Goddard's good still and your line's getting better, then I feel like then a QB would want to go there. So... But
Who do you think sign Ertz while we're speaking of the Eagles?
I think they'll trade him eventually to, if the Colts cannot get Hunter Henry, or if the Colts don't get anyone free agency, I think there's a chance that they'll trade Ertz to the Colts. But honestly, at this point,
Let's start calling the Colts Philly Midwest. Huh?
I just don't think he's going to get traded for anything better than a 6th. Because there's the draft. You're in this period of the year.
I could see a 4th maybe.
Because you're in this period, that time period of the year where draft picks are at its peak value. The hype around these rookies. There's so much tape coming out. The pro days. There was no combine, but there's still the pro days, and there's still tape. So there's so much hype around all these rookies that there's no better value for draft picks than right now. That's why Jets could get a Deshaun Watson, because they have the 2nd pick in the draft, and that's prime right now because there's a lot of hype around Zach Wilson, and there's a lot of hype around Justin Fields, and after Trey Lance's pro day, there's a lot of hype around Trey Lance. So
I've been saying that for months. You know that, bro.
Yeah, so looking at all, that's what I'm saying. So it's going to be interesting.
You know why I'm so sold on him, honestly? It's not even really necessarily what he did in college. It's what I seen, how much better he was than Justin Jefferson and what Justin Jefferson did this year. I was like, man, like that kid, he was better than Justin Jefferson. That's what's scary about him, dude. But he also has had a year off.
Right. Yeah, no, I have them taking Devonta Smith because they need that wide receiver. So the Philadelphia Eagles, if they're going to roll with Jalen Hurts, you might as well surround him with weapons and then build around him. Continue to build around him. You can't just half-ass it. You got to go all in. So now you have to go all in. Like I said, take the best available offensive weapon, and that's Devonta Smith at 6. So I can see Philadelphia making progress, but it all depends on what they do with the draft pick.
Dude, I don't know, man. Philly's so weak at so many spots. Their line's horrible, and
their receivers are bad.
Oh, you're right. They have no talented players.
So you take Devonta Smith at 6.
I mean, yeah, but then who?
You have to.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but it's just
you have to. You have no choice. If you don't, you're not doing Jalen Hurts any service. You're doing him a disservice.
That's all line the rest of the draft, I'm guessing. So I don't know.
Well, you figure it out, but you got to get Devonta Smith at 6.
Oh, you're right. He can be a game changer, bro. I'm not disagreeing at all. Those two together could be magic one day. You just got to get.
I don't care if you sign Juju or Kenny Galladay. You take Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
You build around your quarterback. That's what you have to do. He's on rookie deal. Build around him. See what he can do. If he's not the guy, get another one on a rookie deal and continue doing that until you find the one. Win a Super Bowl with the rookie quarterback or a backup Nick Foles. I don't know how you do it anymore. So. Whatever there. Moving on to the New York Giants, the Daniel Jones company. Sounds like the Giants are going to roll with Daniel Jones this year. Saquon Barkley coming back from his ACL tear And then you also have some wide receivers disappearing. That's why Kenny Galladay is in the mix. That's why Juju Smith-Schuster is in the mix. And that's why draft picks or drafting a wide receiver is in the mix, because the Giants were not good. They got beat by Alex Smith and who was it? Oh my gosh, the guy who played in the Vikings, the quarterback. The Miracle played for the Broncos too. Oh wow, this is embarrassing. That's funny. I cannot believe I'm like slipping on his name. That is awful. I'm pulling it up right now, so you'll just have to bear with me on this one, because I'm not letting this go. I'm going to.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he didn't play for Kyle Allen. No, who? I guess he didn't play for the Washington football team last year. Who? I'm not letting this go. I'm not letting this go. You can't think of him? He's a backup quarterback.
Oh, the quarterback who played for Philly that night?
No, he didn't play for Philly. No, I'm talking about the Minnesota Miracle.
Oh, hell no.
Case Keenum.
Oh, Case.
I thought he played for the Reds or the Washington football team this year. That must have been last year. Yeah. So, anyways, they were beating up on their own, but still, it's still embarrassing for the Giants to not win the division when the Cowboys had no quarterback, the Redskins or the Washington football team had no quarterback.
Saquon Barkley and your starting quarterback for a few weeks here. You're not Saquon Barkley all year. Come on, bro. Saquon Barkley, that team's gonna run through him. That's not fair, bro.
Well, you still had your quarterback.
Not all season. Daniel Jones missed what, 2-3 games, didn't he, in the middle of the season?
It's not enough.
Right after. Well, I mean, I agree, but listen, when you lose your best player, it's a fucking morale boost or a morale, shot to the whole team, dude. Like everybody. And I listened to Mike Tyson's podcast, and Saquon Barkley was on there a couple weeks ago. And I've never really listened to Saquon Barkley talk at all. Like I've just never ever heard him talk or seen an interview with him, whatever. He did this hour podcast with Mike Tyson, and I gotta say, he's a real quiet dude for how big and how he plays football. He's fucking real quiet, real soft spoken, very humbled, and this knee injury, it messed him up mentally a lot at first. I'm telling you guys, he spilled all this shit on the podcast. It's a really good listen. But anyways, and he's looking back when Adrian Peterson tore his ACL, MCL, and came back strong, not even a year later. And he said that's my mission. And I was watching him training. I spoke with him a bunch, and he's helping me through this and all that. He's gonna come back fine next year, dude. I don't necessarily think the Giants are gonna be fine. They still need a lot of help. But Barkley's gonna return, I think, to Saquon Barkley next year. But they're gonna need some help.
I'm going to talk more about it when we do divisions again in the summertime, but I don't think he's going to return to form.
Really, dude? Look at what Adrian did. But not everybody's Adrian Peterson, though, man.
I think he's done, but we'll see. We'll talk about that more. I want to see more of how he's progressing and stuff before I fully come to a decision, but I really just don't think right now that he has a chance of return to form. So, but we'll see. He might. You never know. They just need help everywhere, though. Wouldn't mind.
You're right.
It wouldn't be bad to get another running back. Wouldn't be bad to get a lot of wide receivers. Wouldn't be bad to get a lot more defensive players. I mean, it's just there's a lot of places that the Giants can go. They just got to rebuild all around, just like the Jets. New York. It's sad to be a New York fan right now, unless you're a Bills fan.
Daniel Jones is not the answer, bro.
No, I don't think so either. I wouldn't be surprised if they took another quarterback.
You're right. That's what they should do. He's not winning a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones, bro. I'm telling you that right now.
I have them taking a pass rusher in the draft. So, in the 11th pick. But I wouldn't be surprised if they took Trey Lance. Why not? Daniel Jones obviously needs some sort of fire under his ass. So, what better way of doing that than drafting another quarterback, right?
Bell breaking for the end zone this year on that run. Oh, my God.
I wouldn't be surprised if they finish last in their division next year. They finish second at 6-10. I wouldn't be surprised if they go 6-10 again and finish last in their division.
Yeah, I could easily see that.
Yeah. No, that's no surprise to me. So we're going to wrap up the NFC East and all the NFC teams. And now we're going to finish up with the last 4 teams in the AFC East, the best division in football by a mile, not even close. We're going to start with the JETs, the Jets, my faves for some odd reason. I do believe they're either going to draft Zach Wilson or trade for Deshaun Watson. It's going to be one or the other. I don't see them rolling with Sam Darnold again. I think Sam Darnold is going to be a Washington football team quarterback, Chicago Bear, or he's going to be a San Francisco 49er. One of
Look,
those three places.
I'm just saying this right now. You said they're going to take who?
Zach Wilson.
Okay. Any of you teams, go ahead and take Zach Wilson over Justin Fields. Please do. Like,
What was that?
I'm not sold on this Zach Wilson guy at all. I'm not. I don't see it. I don't know, dude. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't see the hype. I don't see how people are saying he's going to be better than Justin Fields. Justin Fields is bigger than him. Justin Fields is faster than him. Justin Fields has a better arm than him. Strength-wise, maybe not accuracy. That might be the only thing that kid's better at than Fields is. I just don't see it, man. I think Justin Fields is more NFL ready. He's more ready to take a hit. I can't believe it. I don't know. I don't think he's the answer, man. I hope the Jets don't draft him, honestly, Dave.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not sold on anyone other than Trevor Lawrence right now. But I think they're sold on Zach Wilson. We'll see after Justin Fields.
A lot of people are, man.
When's Ohio State's pro day?
I don't even know, Dave. I don't even know.
March 30th. March 26th for Zach Wilson. Kyle Trask and Florida Gators the 31st.
Yeah.
And the 23rd is Alabama's pro day. So, before the month is over, all of them will have thrown. Mac Jones, Kyle Trask, Zach Wilson, and Justin Fields. Trevor Lawrence has already thrown and then had surgery, and Trey Lance just threw yesterday on Friday. So we'll know. I will make a more educated guess by not just watching the pro days, but seeing what the experts are all saying about these quarterbacks, not just one, but multiple opinions, and taking that into consideration. And then I'll see, really who's truly breaking down to look like the better quarterback, but that's not always how it plays out. It all depends on where you go. Justin Fields could be a better quarterback, but if he goes to Jets, he's going to be worse. Same with Zach Wilson. So it just depends really on how the Jets treat this new quarterback.
Everything.
Yeah. So I think the Jets have a chance to rebuild, not quite a playoff team, but they can be a lot better next year, maybe even go 500. So I think with that they're still going to be pretty bad, and I think they can win some games with Saleh. It might be even 6-10, but 8-8 is something that I wouldn't be surprised at. I mean, that's kind of their ceiling, but I think that they can get to 8-8, 7-9, or with 17 games, I can see them going 8-9.
I could see them definitely being third place in that division above the Patriots. I don't think they're with Buffalo or they are with Miami yet. Now, if they would get Deshaun Watson, that could change everything. I would put them right up there with both of them immediately if they got Deshaun Watson. But as it stands right now, dogs, shut up. Sorry about that. As it stands right now, I don't think that I think that they could definitely, that 7-9, 8-8 area, like you were saying, be in third place in that division. And maybe even, win some big games, beat Buffalo a time or two, beat some of the better teams, and they're definitely going to be far improved from what they were last year. Just with the head coach walking in the door, immediately that makes you a better team. The whole persona he brings and everything he brings with him, his style.
Yeah, it's going to be a totally different team next year.
Right. You're not going to be – I mean, the Jets last year were an embarrassment, let's be honest. The head coach, everything, the whole team was. You know what I'm saying? So this is a new beginning for them. And you got the second pick. You can either take your quarterback, which you think they're going to do, or if you're going to roll with Darnold, take that lineman. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can go to make your team better. You got to decide who you want your quarterback to be. We all know that's the most important thing in the league. And like we just said a few minutes ago, your head coach has to be sold on the quarterback. And if he's not, you're in trouble immediately. If your head coach is not who his quarterback is, there's a problem right away.
Exactly.
You got to have your head coach believing in your quarterback. That's the number one thing you need. And they're going to figure it out. And Yeah, like you said, I agree. They'll be competitive next year for sure. And I can see them really being in contention in a couple of years if everything stays course.
I think they're probably going to hold off on trading Sam until after all these pro days. So I think he'll get traded sometime in April. Because
What do you think the market is
they
for?
really second round pick,
I agree. I could see that.
second round pick, and that's it. Maybe a conditional fifth in return or something. I don't know, but second round pick. So we'll see what happens. I want to see what happens in free agency, and then we'll see what happens with all these pro days. My mock 2.0, where I might do a trade or two. I'm gonna do the. I want to do it. I was gonna wait until one full week after free agency, but I may wait until the beginning of April. So around April 2nd or 3rd. So I don't want to come out with it on April 1st and everyone
That's
the whole
Easter week.
yeah, but I want to come out with it around that time, and then I'm gonna come out with 3.0 the day before the draft or the day of the draft. That's when it's gonna get crazy. Maybe a trade or two has been happened already, and then I'm gonna put in a few trades in there myself just to spice it up. That I think may happen based on what happened in free agency, what happened throughout the month of April, and what all the rumblings are about going throughout the league. So we'll see what the Jets do, but they're in prime position to move forward and become a better team. Let's just see if they hold on and actually do that. Last year's division winner, the Buffalo Bills, 13-3, looking like they're going to go even further next year as long as they get a run game, maybe another lineman, maybe another receiver. They cut John Brown. They already have Diggs, tight end. They already have decent tight ends, but another tight end wouldn't help. They could still do a lot in this draft. I have them taking Etienne, the running back, in the draft. I think a running back would really help them out, and they know this. So I really think they're going to attack that with the running back if either of them, Harris or Etienne, is available and the late round pick that they have. If not, then I think that they can sign maybe an Aaron Jones. If they can sign Aaron Jones or Chris Carson, I think that they're going to be in prime position, maybe have a lot better run game next year, and then they wouldn't have to take running back in the first round. They can go edge or they can go wide receiver and get more weapons for Josh Allen, who seems to be progressing into an all-star MVP type quarterback. So we'll see how Buffalo decides to go in the draft. Like I said, I have them taking a running back. But when you look at Buffalo, what do you think best fits them right now as they speak before free agency? What do you think Buffalo needs to go attack and free agency, and then what do they need to do in the draft?
Every word you said, I totally agree. I think first thing they need to address is the running back issue. That's the first thing you need to do. You need to get a guy in there. Aaron Jones would be a great fit for them. That would be
cost a lot more money. So hear me out.
Yeah, dangerous.
Carson at $5 million a year or Aaron Jones at $12 million a year.
Who was the first?
Who would you pick?
Who was the first guy?
Carson at $5 million a year or Jones at $12 million a year?
Carson in the second.
Okay, Carson at $8 million a year. Aaron Jones at $12 million a year.
So I gotta save the $4 million because Carson. Listen, Carson is an above average running back.
Okay, so then what does it take? $2 million. So Carson at $10 million or Jones at $12 million.
Yeah. $2 million.
Yeah, I'll take Jones. I'll take
$4 million this year. This year.
Yeah, $12 million this year.
Signed. That's a whole other player you get signed on defense, or like you said, bringing a legitimate receiver, something. Because I think losing John Brown, Stephon Diggs he can't catch everything, man.
Right. Yeah, John Brown's gone, so he's got
maybe them trying to go after Hunter Henry.
You can't. I mean, Beasley had 82 receptions last year. Is that really who you want as your number two?
No.
So get Stephon Diggs some more help with 127 catches. You got to get him another receiver unless you're going to roll with it. But Gabriel Davis could be emerging. We'll see how that plays out. He had 17 yards a catch. So that could be another one. That's why they got rid of John Brown, because he outproduced. He had 7 touchdowns. So Gabriel Davis could be a name to look out for. Maybe that's their number 2 next year. Maybe that's why they're getting rid of John Brown, and they already know they have Gabriel Davis emerging, so they don't need another one. They'll just draft another wide receiver in the 3rd or 4th round and see how they work out. But Buffalo Bills have plenty of weapons. They don't have too many holes, but the running game's a big one. So if they can fill that, then that's one less thing the Buffalo Bills has to worry about. And I think they could really thrive and move forward into AFC champion or the a victory in the AFC championship and get to the Super Bowl if they can master that running game and maybe add another wide receiver, just a third wide receiver piece to go with Gabriel Davis and Stephon Diggs, especially because they're blooming. And as Josh Allen continues on this road of progression, then even if he plays the way he did last year, I think that'll be enough to get them into the Super Bowl if they can get that run game taken care of. So moving on over to the Miami Dolphins, they have Tua Tagovailoa going on to next year as of now, but the rumors had it they could be looking at other places for quarterback. They are in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes as of now, but as of now, I guess the Deshaun Watson is not going to be traded. But in the draft, I have them at 3, taking Jamar Chase out of LSU. And then I also have them at 18, taking a tackle out of Virginia Tech. So I have them going offense fully in the first round. That would help out their quarterback if that's who they decide to roll with. That's something that Miami should do. With Brian Flores being a defensive coach, I think that he could thrive with the players that he has and even add more pieces in the second or third or maybe in later rounds and in free agency possibly. But I think they really could do well with Jamar Chase. And then looking at another tackle in the 18th pick wouldn't be a bad decision either.
Definitely agree. Everything you said. Jamar Chase is a game changer. I think he's going to be a game changer within the first 3 years of the league. And yeah, they need help on the line, man, and they got the draft capital to do it right now.
So what would you rather take, Jamar Chase or Penny Sewell?
If I'm Miami,
yeah,
Chase.
Yeah, I think you gotta go Chase.
Man, come on, running backs. Listen, like we've said, we've all been saying this for a while now. This league's changed. Running backs are a dime a dozen. You can go find a guy bagging groceries and sign him from your practice squad, and you're gonna come in and get you 70, 60 yards and catch 3 balls. But if you can't pass the ball down the field, guess what? You're going to lose. You can find a guy that's going to.
But you can't pass unless you have that tackle.
Right.
So what are you doing with that?
That's why I think the running back even more. Look, you need a quarterback, then you need a line.
That's what I'm saying. Penny Sewell is a once in a lifetime tackle.
The running back's the last thing you need on your offense. Anyway, I mean, you need a quarterback.
Yeah, but we're talking about Jamar Chase versus Penny Sewell, the tackle.
Oh.
So, who are you picking if you're in Miami at 3? That once in a lifetime tackle or Jamar Chase?
I got to go with Chase, dude. That's just me.
He would be, yeah.
Would be fine, but if it was me, I'm just going with the guy that's going to put asses in the seats, man, also, on top of, producing, hopefully.
Right. Well, we'll see what Miami does like everyone else.
The lineman's a bad pick at all, no, but
right. They have a few areas of need that they could hit, and I think if they take Jamar Chase and a tackle in the first round, they'll nail it. So I think that they have a lot of hope going forward, and if they can nail that quarterback position and or surround them with more weapons, they're really looking bright moving forward.
So if they took Sewell second or third, excuse me, what kind of receivers could they get around 18?
Looking at it right now, they could get Bateman out of Minnesota, Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss, Kadarius Toney out of Florida.
Like the 5th or 6th best receiver, right?
Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, and Jamar Chase are gone by 7.
So they could theoretically get the 4th best receiver.
They could, in my draft, yes.
Are the 2nd best tackle,
or the first, or the best tackle.
Well, no, I'm saying who if they took.
No, because I have Sewell going, and then I have Slater going at 13.
So they'd get the 3rd tackle, and they'd be like the 4th or 5th best receiver. Man, yeah, that's close.
Yeah, they would have to get the 3rd tackle, or
right,
the 4th best receiver.
And Sewell's way above and beyond those other guys. Okay, yeah. I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah, you got to go to those pro days and see, because that's hard. You could really set your team up anchored at that left tackle position.
And that's the thing too. Tackle's a position where it's when the guys are touted and scouted like this dude, unless a huge injury comes up on them, they're probably gonna have that kind of NFL career because it's not hard transition to be a great lineman. It's really not. It's way harder to be a great quarterback from college to NFL, a great running back from college to NFL, and a great receiver. There's a lot more stuff to learn, I believe, as a skilled position, a stud guard. Like, he's going to be a stud. There's no debating it. Jamar Chase, he hasn't played in a year, and he was a monster, yeah, but he's not guaranteed to, be a stud. Almost, these linemen are almost guaranteed that they're going to be there because, it is what it is,
Right.
It's a lot easier position to scout than receivers. What I'm saying? Like, this guy's going to be like, yeah, he's for sure going to be good. Even Trevor Lawrence isn't 110% guaranteed to be good, folks. To me, Sewell is the most guaranteed thing in the draft.
Yeah, he's definitely one of them.
He's the most guaranteed thing in the draft. That's for sure. I think he's way above Trevor Lawrence and all of them. Doesn't mean he should be the number one pick, but you know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying, right, bro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that Sewell.
They got a lot of options, man. They really can't go wrong with either pick, Dave. Honestly,
they're in good spot to do
something
good. So, moving on to the last place team next year, the New England Patriots, with re-signing Cam Newton for backup money, so they could be looking at Mac Jones in the first round. I have them taking a corner out of Virginia Tech in the draft, but they could be taking Mac Jones. And if they take Mac Jones, then that means they're going to try to rebuild something in the future. I wouldn't be surprised if they take a quarterback in the first round. They have to do something. Going into the next year with Cam Newton is just setting up for failure, in my opinion.
Can I say something real quick about that? Like, Cam Newton, we all know he had COVID, missed time, and he said he felt fine and all this and all that. But, like, Jason Tatum in the NBA, he had it too, and he still said he still just feels just different, like, than he used to before he got it. I don't know if that was the case with Cam Newton. He never said it was.
Right.
Maybe he's too proud to say that, but if my job's on the line, if that's the case, I'm going to say something. I just know that Jason Tatum, who plays a much easier sport than the NFL, said even 3 months later after he had COVID that he still just feels different when he wakes up and his body feels different. So I don't know if maybe that's what's wrong with Cam last year and he can return. But, hey, it's a low risk, high reward, I guess. It's not a lot of money, so we'll see. They're still going to try to get somebody else, though, I think.
Right. Yeah, so do I. I don't think they're going to go with just Cam Newton.
I think Belichick would love Mac Jones just because he's of all these college quarterbacks, he's like the only pocket passing quarterback there is, bro. Literally, he's the only one.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one that stands in a pocket. If you notice this, if you've ever seen tape of this guy, I'm sure you have, he doesn't move, Dave.
No, yeah, no, exactly. That's his. Yep, that's his guy. So I think
that's what Belichick would love to have, dude.
I think that's a good chance that they're going to draft Mac Jones. We'll see what they do in free agency. If they go into the season with just Cam Newton, then they're going to be last place.
I agree. I think he's done. And not even so much Cam, but they don't have the team set up to run like a Cam Newton, the talent. They don't have the running backs. They don't have the receivers to play an offense that Cam Newton wants to play. Like, Cam Newton came from a franchise that drafted him number 1 overall and built their entire franchise around him, from their coaches to their linemen to their receivers to everybody around him for Cam Newton. And he left that to go to a team who was built for Tom Brady. Those are two completely different quarterbacks.
Right.
That system, that team was not set up for him, dude. And it was an epic fail. It was a nice try by Bill Belichick. And I agree with what you said. Unless they change that offense and bring someone in, it's not going to be pretty for them with Cam Newton, dude. They have to, if that's their quarterback, they have to build their offense around him. They can't want him to build his game around them.
Right. So looking at how New England can go into next season, they have Cam Newton, but they need a lot of work all around the offense. They have Joe Tooney that's not going to come back. Doesn't look like that as of now, unless they surprise everyone and make this massive offer to him, but it doesn't sound like they're going to. They want to
get a lot of help on defense, though. Those guys going back there.
They need to sign a Kenny Galladay or something on wide receiver. They're bad at drafting, so I don't have any faith in them replacing N'Keal Harry. It sounds like they might be trading Harry. I just think they're in a big mess going forward, and I don't see them coming out of it. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. To be honest, I think Belichick is gone before it gets better. But looking on to next week, we're going to be talking about what happened in free agency, all the big news, and all the splashes. It's going to be probably a little bit of a longer episode, just depending on how much goes on, and it sounds like there's going to be a lot. We'll try to keep it in the hour and 10 minutes time frame. But hopefully Monty joins us for next week. but who knows with that, But I was joined in by Seth tonight on Twitter, 62 Seth Reed 629.
Seth Reed 620. No,
620.
you're thinking of Monty Clements. 20. No, Seth Reed 620.
620 at that's at Seth Reed 620, and don't forget the podcast at Dave Cat Pod, and also on Facebook at Dave Cat Pod, on YouTube Dave Cat Podcast, and don't forget to download the show anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts, including Audible, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and so on.
And now Pandora.
Pandora is back on, baby. So if you want to download the Dave Cat Podcast on Pandora, you are more than welcome to. But it sounds like Spotify and iHeartRadio and Apple Podcasts is the way to go. So until next time, right.